Hello and welcome to part 2. So what we're going to do is delve into the Room of Encumbrance through our little treasure chest door here, and we're presented with a very big, large, dark space. So I wanted to make people use torches in order to achieve really dark shadows and kind of a sense of isolation, desolation, mystery, kind of misdirection. I wanted the space to be very dark and very confusing. You have to kind of stumble your way through this big pile of junk, and it's not supposed to look like it's meant for people. It's supposed to be kind of a random arrangement, storage for all these objects that have been magically transported here. So we're presented with lots of sculptural piles of things and unique objects like that wine bottle that's doing an endless pour on the table back there. Rugs everywhere, and a severed hand sticking out of a treasure chest here that actually belongs to Brett the Handy. So as the quest is going along here in the background, I'm just going to kind of talk about my thought process and the different things I had to go through in the creation kit in the process of making this. So in the creation kit, I probably spent a good month arranging all of the stuff, all the assets that make up this room. And it's a very large space in the creation kit. I started with an interior space, dropping in all of the assets, arranging these piles and making them look like gravity kind of settled them there. The objects in the creation kit don't actually settle on their own. They don't have any physics, so you have to very meticulously move them and rotate them and make them look like they've been randomly placed, and it's a lot more difficult than it sounds. Making those cups sit in there and settle properly in the bar, and making things look like they've just been randomly arranged just by chance. The room also has a very large labyrinth in there, and the whole thing was kind of inspired by the Room of Requirement from Harry Potter. I wanted to do my own version of that for Skyrim. So here we have to pull out a torch. You can see it's way too dark to see. And in all the shadows, there's little particles of dust floating about. So when I was designing in that interior space, I had to eventually drop it into a brand new world space. The world spaces, the exterior spaces, are the only ones that can have weather conditions. You can't actually apply a weather condition to an interior space in the creation kit. So to get that kind of slow-moving, dusty particle effect, I had to copy and paste the whole thing into an exterior space before programming the quest line and all the nuts and bolts that actually make this a game. The lighting's a little flaky in some areas. It's partly because I used a lot of shadow casting lights. I wanted very hard shadows, very dark corners, places that you'd have to explore with a torch to be able to find. Piles of statues and things. So there's display cases, and they operate. Bookshelves, they also operate. Mannequins and treasure chests and containers. And back here in the corner, you're going to see I made to explain the hoarder's predicament. The story goes that he got trapped in here, his soul got trapped in here. And so that's why his dwelling was a little bit empty. All of his things were transported here, and now he is shackled to the room, endlessly selling things. And he has some really good items that you can pick up, so kind of a nice little reward for getting into the room is being able to buy all of these things from Spike the Hoarder. This space also has just about everything you need in a player home. I was originally going to make it livable as a player house. It doesn't currently have a bed, but I think it has everything else. Storage and containers and mannequins. It has a forge and a smelter and anvils and wood chopping, and it's all kind of scattered about. So anything you need to do in the world, you can do inside of here as well. Granted, this was made prior to the Hearthfire mod, so there aren't any Hearthfire assets that you need for building houses. But there is a lot of Dawnguard assets included in here. It's Dawnguard ready, so as long as you have Dawnguard installed, you could play my quest. Granted, I couldn't get the thing working. I had a few people actually stumble into the room. They found the entrance and got it to trigger correctly, but the quest line is still broken in the beta 1.0 release. So so here we are. I'm kind of just showing you what I intended, what I meant for the player to experience as they go along. Lots of cool little lighting effects. I wanted to make the lights really cast a lot of unique shadows, like that grate back there. I wanted there to be lots of little nooks and crannies, places to find things, and force you to search and explore the space a little bit. Those piles of chairs and books, they took ages to arrange. I spent way too much time putting them all together. Actually, right here there was a nifty little thing. When you pull the lever, it's supposed to update your quest, but it needed to give you time to get to the door first, so I just made a timer. So as it counts down, you get to the door, you realized, uh-oh, it's locked, I need a key, and then your quest updates. It should do that in here in a second. There we go. So again, there's lots of things that you have to search for. But as we go, we're finding out the fates of all of the characters that are written about in the various journals that you find. So we know Brett got his hand chopped off right in the beginning. We know what happened to the hoarder, that his soul is trapped in here as a vendor. And Marna, we found her earlier next to the gate at the center of the labyrinth. I think that's pretty much all the main characters. So here we go. We're going into the treasure chamber now. The treasure chamber was meant to be kind of almost a halfway point to give you some kind of a reward for all of your hard work and struggling. And also to blow off some steam. There's not many characters to interact with, not many monsters to fight, so here we've got a room full of rats that you get to take out your frustration on, blasting them with spells or weapons or whatever you deem necessary. I always wanted to make a room that was kind of like an Indiana Jones type feel to it, where you know, either there's lots of rats or lots of tarantulas or, you know, something like that. So I made a room with a bunch of skeevers that you get to toast. Skeever toast. And we'll just jump right into the thick of it to show you how many rats are actually in here. Once you get through them all, for those of you who have seen DuckTales, I wanted to make a giant, like, chamber filled with gold coins, but unfortunately you can't spawn that many gold coins on the screen at one time. So I wanted to create kind of a shower of gold and gems and various valuable items that you can pick up as you search for the key to the lock tower. So here in a second we'll open up the treasure chamber and collect our prize. So like in DuckTales, Scrooge McDuck is swimming around in his giant vault full of coins. We're going to see a nice pile of treasure here. As soon as we can dispatch all of these skeevers that I've laid in waiting. So back to our quest here. I really love this asset. This was part of Blackreach, I think. The button and floor dropping out, and I wanted there to be a nice green light here to draw you in, and a beam at the end. And this was really me playing around with levers and switches and triggers, trying to get those all to work. Started with the outside of the chamber, and of course here we've got some as well. So you have a pull chain and a lever, and when we activate the lever, you'll see the shower of gold. And eureka! We've struck gold. A lot of gold. So now we can satisfy our greed. Even got a flawless diamond there. And I did things a little out of order. Oops. So what you're supposed to do here is grab the key first, and then pull the lever that dumps all the gold. Otherwise, you have to sit here and by hand pick up everything. So we did a little cut screen. And once you get the key, if I can mouse over it, once you get the key, it updates your quest and tells you to go to the lock tower. So I'm not going to bother picking up the rest. It takes about 5 minutes to pick up all that stuff. So get to see how greedy you can get. And you get all this gold and gems and things that you can't really use. So enjoy walking around with all your new treasure that you can't use. So here we go. We're gonna go back out to the lock tower, and we're gonna cut the video there at the lock tower entrance treasure chest. And the next part is going to be a really long section. It's a very long video, and I apologize for that, but there's a lot to the next half. So thank you for watching, and we'll jump into the lock tower, which is the next part of the quest. So thank you for watching. We'll do a little. We'll run over there real quick and we'll jump on in.